Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the mind. And, this is something very interesting that it's so very interesting about our minds because, it's a very, very powerful organ. And yet, it's really one of the organs that we really don't tap into the most. So, what do I mean by that? Well, neuroscientists are now discovering that 95% of the mind is unconscious, what some people call the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, right? Some people call it the superconscious mind, whatever terminology you like to use. But you're only using 5% of the cognitive frontal area of your brain. Well, you think you're using it. You think that all your decisions are coming from this frontal part. You think that all of them is this part, but it's only 5%. The majority of your actions, the majority of your decisions, the majority of the things that you do day in and day out are actually coming from the unconscious part of the mind, the 95% of the mind. And this is the reason why this is, of course, the mind has developed over time, right? In the beginning, we have more of the reptilian type brain that is connected to the limbic system. This is the limbic system is one reason why we use things like aromatherapy, right? This is the reason why aromatherapy is so effective. But when you combine things like aromatherapy and then you combine things like plant therapy and hypnotherapy, we're really now addressing all aspects of the mind. So the human mind is like a complex labyrinth of houses of both unconscious and conscious thoughts, both both conscious and unconscious beliefs, both conscious and unconscious behaviors. And so while the mind plays a very big, huge role in the things that you're doing day out, the biggest thing that you're not tapping into, or the biggest part that you're actually using day in, day out, is the unconscious mind. That part of the 95%, right, that is holding the keys to the deeply ingrained patterns that you exhibit day in, day out. So, what do I mean? This can be related to weight loss or weight gain. So, in my situation, I kept having weight loss every time I get stressed. I go off food, and I consider myself a ball python, right? So I go, oh, Kelly's going off food now, and I was having maybe 500 calories a day, if that, because of the stress that was driving this unconscious beliefs of just basically shutting down my desire to have food. So, sorry, I raised my thing and now the things are going off on the video. So what did I do? What did I do to put on weight? So what I did was I went to the unconscious mind because I know that that's majority of the mind. Now, before I've said 90 to 92%, but now they're coming back and saying, now this is 95%. So I went to the unconscious mind and I did my own hypnotherapy around that so that I could still continue to eat and continue to do the things that I know I needed to do for food as fuel, right? For my health and well-being. So I'm using myself as an example, myself as a story of how hypnotherapy went into that 95% of the sabotage that was going on there. Really, an aspect of it I didn't really even understand. And so I'm giving you the examples because that's how important that is. That's how powerful it is. So whether you're like me and you go off food, right? Or whether you take the opposite role and maybe we know food is fuel, and there may be other sabotages that are showing up daily. Sorry, Sancho's right here. He thinks that I'm stressed, so he's trying to alert. So if you hear him panting in the background, I appreciate your patience on that. So the unconscious mind operates, as the point is, the unconscious mind operates beneath our awareness, right? Beneath the awareness that we have on a cognitive level, right? On this part of our mind. And that's the part that's driving the bus. So like, I say to a lot of potential clients, or when I'm talking about hypnosis, it's not the tip of the iceberg to kill Jack, right? So if you've ever seen the Titanic, raise your hand. It's not the tip of the iceberg that killed Jack, right? That tip is not what sunk the boat. What sunk the boat was everything beneath that tip of that iceberg, the 95%. And that's the same thing that's sinking the boat today. Not physically, obviously, but that's the part that's driving the bus, the 95%. So unconscious beliefs can sabotage you. This can be self-doubt, procrastination, fear of failure, fear of success, lack of motivation, any type of reluctance to step outside of the comfort zone. This is the ego. It's there to keep us safe. We know that it's there, but this is also the part, this unconscious sabotage is also the part that sabotages us every day. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at you. You know, as my daddy says, when you point the finger at somebody, your three fingers are pointing back at you. This is me as well. So this is more of a gestalt thing. This is not a you problem, right? Or a me problem, but this is a general issue that we all have. If you're human and you still have a pulse and you can reach down and feel that now, okay? Then if you're a human and you have a pulse, then you're experiencing unconscious sabotage in some way. So it's not a blame game. This is really more of an emotional literacy session so that you can understand that what you may be doing or not doing is rooted in the 95% of your mind. So that's the bad news. But what's the good news, Kelly? Well, I was hoping you were going to ask that. The good news is that we can go into that 95% of the mind and we can reshape it. We can make it look differently. We can release things that are constantly coming up and sabotaging that. We can release that in a way that's not completely stressful. We do it in a way that's less stressful than some other modalities, less harmful than some other modalities, and a lot more gentler and faster and easier and more effortless than some other modalities. Now, is it a miracle cure? No, I'm not saying that. That would be irresponsible. But hypnosis is a powerful, powerful, powerful therapeutic technique because it can allow individuals to actually access the 95% of the brain and really communicate with this unconscious part of the mind, and really find out what's going on, what we want, what we don't want, release that old stuff, and then bring in what we actually want. And this is the reason why my clients get such a huge success, roughly around a 98% success rate at this time. And I don't say that to brag. I just say that to say that that's the power of the unconscious mind. So what happens, when we do a particular session, it's really specific to your individual needs. What's coming up for you? There's a strategic conversation that happens before we even go into hypnosis. That strategic conversation allows us to find out what's going on, what you want, what you don't want, what you want instead, and how to get there, and gives you the structure and the foundation to get there more easily and effortlessly, because we can go into the unconscious mind in a lot easier way than other modalities as well. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for you. The conscious and the unconscious mind work together. That 5%, when we work together, that 5% gets to go off and play land, wherever that is, Disneyland, your favorite beach, your favorite whatever. And then we work on the unconscious beliefs. And that's what hypnosis does. Hypnosis can really help pave the way for positive change, for overcoming self-sabotage, for overcoming limited beliefs, for really getting down deep and find out that what's going on there and picking it out and kind of throwing it away and replanting those seeds of the things that we want. It's like if you were planting a garden, if you were pulling out the crabgrass, right? You don't want your crabgrass. Nobody wants that. But what do? You've got to pull out the crabgrass. Then you've got to replant the seeds that you want instead. This is exactly what hypnosis does. And what we do then is water those seeds, tend to those seeds, and then before you know it, they grow. And that's the powerfulness of hypnosis, and the powerful way that we can change the mind on a deeper level. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you found this helpful, feel free to share this video or invite a friend to the group, whatever resonates with you. And I hope you guys have a great day and be blessed in all that you do.